All right. So let's break out the big pitch wheel. Mark Carroll, this Disability Liberation Project. All right, come on down, Mark.
Can you hear me?
We can.
Hey, how are you?
I am good, and I am so pumped that I'm just trying to turn my camera on.
Yeah, we've met before. It's great to see you again.
Yeah, and to be honest, I'm not sucking up here, but I'm saving up to do the master class and pro track with you. So
awesome.
That's pretty cool. Anyway, so yeah, thank you.
Yeah, great.
Okay. Did the timer start?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, actually, let's reset it for him, Valeria.
Okay. First of all, the Disability Liberation Project is based on my lived experience as an advocate and what might happen if we got a speculative future where the political landscape has changed. Liberals, conservatives in Canada, and Democrats and Republicans, the parties are almost non-existent. There's new parties that have been formed, and now Canada and America are looking to become one country. And in the midst of that, there's been some changes with healthcare and some landscape changes where people with disabilities are being put back into institutions because the system has determined that they have behavioral issues or they can't cognitively direct their own care or anything like that. But what really is happening through a guy that's an independent reporter, Riker Schilling, figures out that his best friend, his brother basically, Cody Wheeler, who's disabled and has a lived experience in the criminal justice system, has gone missing after a long-standing dispute with his former care provider. And there's some things that get uncovered, as in contracts that were given out for companies to do experiments and help to relieve people with disabilities. But what's not being talked about is that these contracts are being carried out in more rural areas of Canada, and people are being misled, experimented on under the guides that we're going to help you relieve your pain and stuff. But there's really, when you got people with controversial criminal pasts and stuff like that, and they're going missing, well, they're not getting public sympathy from the media, and it really pulls into question how much do we value people as much as we say we do. And I just want to say that this is dedicated to my mentor, who has really inspired me, and I think I've said all I can say about it. Thanks.
Let's give him a round of applause.
Amazing.
Beautiful. Let's see what people connected.
Excellent.
Okay. So much. Okay. Wow. Wow. There are hundreds of comments here. So okay. Canada and America looking to become one country. A lot of people connected to that. The future dystopia, the institutions, the institutionalization, you being a disability advocate, the political upheaval, the independent reporter, institutionalization and minimalization, system putting people into institutions, political controversy, reinstitutionalization of the disabled is very important. They don't direct their own care, the undeserved misfortune, the reporter's brother who's gone missing, the lived experience in the criminal justice system, this dispute with the care provider. Wow, there's so much here. Uncovering the truth, the experiments, the futuristic politics, Great title and premise. What's kept secret? The independent reporter figures out his best friend who's disabled contracts experiments to relieve people with disabilities. There's something not being talked about. Beautiful. There's so much more here. So Mark, I'm going to encourage you to scroll through. Karen.
Yes.
Amazing.
The Disability Liberation Project is a bold title that hooks me right away. I'm excited. I don't know what it is, but I'm excited about liberation, right? It sounds like it is a revolution, right? The title already tells me this is a revolution. When you began with lived experience as an advocate, it tells me not only that you know, this is what you are living through, but this is also like potentially something you're writing as your worst nightmare, which is really powerful. I think the you know thing that I wrote down the highlights, and I wrote down absolutely everything you said, because your words were always specific, and every single word you used had value to the story, and that is so powerful. I'm extremely impressed. There was no fat in this at all. You've clearly practiced, and you were so succinct and excited. I'm excited. I love the mini ride that I went on, because I thought that this was going to be a utopia when you said like liberals and Republicans were gone and non-existent, and Canada and America were coming together. I was like, oh, we get Canada. We're gonna have free healthcare. And then you took that away from me by telling me not only do we not have free healthcare, we've locked up people with disabilities and we're experimenting on them. Like, the experiment is such a visual, visceral thing. And not only are we experimenting on them, we're probably killing them. And you're not telling me that we're killing them, but by the fact that they're going missing makes me lean in and wonder if they're dead. So, you know, I think that all of this is working what you said. What I would like is a couple more minutes about Riker. I'd like to know who he is at the beginning of the story. If he has always been an advocate, if he's always been interested in helping, or if he was more jaded in the beginning and then became somebody that would help people with disabilities because Cody was missing. And I'd love to know who are his allies, who stands in his way, what are the hot relationships in this story. For me, I love to hear about the relationships in a pitch, you know, who was who was together in the beginning, whether they're friends or family members or a love interest. How did they separate? You know, what stretched them to a breaking point? What brought them back together? Those sort of structural points can be really helpful for me. I don't want to hear the whole structure, but I love seeing how relationships twist and turn in a story. That kind of grabs me. So you told me that Cody was missing. So then he's not the hot relationship because he's gone from the movie, unless maybe he is found in the middle and he's not dead. And then they team up together to find everybody else. But something about Riker's personality and his like life around him, because the world you built is totally finished as a pitch. And the fact that it's a revolution is pitched, and I'm finished, I guess. But I really, really, really love it. I would just like a little more about Riker and the relationships in the movie.
Beautiful. Thank you, Karen.
Yeah.
I actually want to read Mitch Birnbaum just chatted in. This is Handmaiden's Tale for the disability.
Yeah.
And what an incredible, I'm going to encourage Mark to steal that, right? Like, that is such a really brilliant way of capturing that. Mark, the first thing is, holy crap, is this a great title? And I absolutely love the bait and switch you're doing with us. You know, at the beginning, I was writing down movies like Hollywood and Inglourious Bastards, right? Like movies where we envision and shows where we envision like an alternate history. And I love that you sucked us in to believing that, and then you start to twist it on us. Where would I push this? I actually think that there's enough room in this pitch to accomplish a lot of things that Karen is describing. And I think the way that you do that is you compress the part where you're talking about the US and Canada to really push it through the lens of the Disability Liberation Project, right? I think to really understand this piece, all we need is, well, first off, I would start with your own story, sharing what's the thing that people don't understand that connects to this story as a disability advocate, right? How in today's world are the good intentions turned inside out or upside down, right? In a way that parallels the story. And what that will do is it will give a little drum roll. Then I think all we really need is like, the world seems to have healed, right? Things are better. The world is freaking great. US and Canada emerged, right? And there's this incredible project called the Disability Liberation Project, right? And give us a brief taste of what that is, and then give us the character and give us his investment in the Disability Liberation Project, right? How excited is he that his brother can be a part of it? How connected, how is this like the dream come true for him, so that we can really feel how his expectations start to change in the same way ours do. And I think if you do it that way, because I agree with literally everything Karen said, I think if you do it that way, you will then be able to land all of Karen's suggestions without actually having to add anything to the length of this pitch. Mark, you did a beautiful job, and thank you. So let's give him a round of applause, and we're going to vote. Just a few more seconds.